What's up, Fanout Crew? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Got a packed show tonight. My name is Colby Sullivan. I am your host, as always, and I'm joined by the Raptor, Jonathan Agricola. You either get the joke or you don't. Jonathan, what's up, man?
Hello, Colby. How are you today?
Doing great, man. We got
great.
we got a special guest joining us tonight, the Pop Culture Nihilist himself, Mr. Jeremy Branch. Jeremy, man, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we've talked in an official capacity.
Where are we at with profanity on this channel? What's the deal? Can I curse? I won't do it now, but just
fuck yeah, we can.
All right,
we could say fuck, shit, cunt, ass, and tits. That's it. There. You say no dams.
Got it. Thank you. clear, crystal clear. Thank you for having me, Colby. Man, oh man, we're gonna talk about some Obi-Wan. I see you titled it Season 1.
Yeah, so I mean, there's still some debate as to whether or not there's going to be a season 2 of this show. I hope there is, so I can make fun of it even more. So yeah, I mean, I'm we'll see. Apparently there's going to be season 2 of, or not going to be season 2 of Hawkeye, but there is a season 2 of Loki. So like, we don't know what's up, with Disney Plus. So anyway, we're here to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1, as we just talked about. Jeremy kind of buried the lead there.
No, way to go, Jerry.
My bad.
Yeah, I mean, we waited, for the entire series, I guess, or season. God damn it! Now you got me rethinking my whole life. If this is gonna have a season 2, we waited for all 6 episodes to come out before we are giving our thoughts about it. So, right off the bat, Jeremy, you're our guest. Give us 2 minutes rundown of Obi-Wan, your thoughts on the series overall.
Please, Jeremy, I need to hear something, please.
All right, guys, here it is. We as adults hold Star Wars to quite a different standard than we did as we children, right? So I have to ask, and this is a hyperbolic question. Don't answer. I don't even want to hear your fucking answer. But the question is, if Star Wars were as nuanced and as sophisticated as our 40-year-old cynical asses demand that it be today, would we have liked it as children? Would we have grown up loving Star Wars? Jonathan, don't answer, dude. This is a hyperbolic question. Would we have actually liked it? And that's the way that I am having to reconfigure myself to enjoy it, because Obi-Wan is a series with some really great moments. And as you will see, because I know Colby's pulled some fantastic clips, some ridiculous moments as well. Overall, I feel like I come down on the side of positive, but I didn't go into it expecting all of that much. So like, when it was all said and done, I felt like the payoff rewarded me for the previous 6 episodes in a way that was good enough. Is it the best Star Wars that Disney's put out? Nah, I think that award still goes to Rogue One for me. But I don't think this is the worst of Disney's Star Wars. So I'm excited to be able to have this conversation with y'all, because Colby, you and I in particular, we've talked a lot about it, not on air. So I want to just kind of keep the conversation coming back to, like, was Star Wars ever really as good as we want it to be now?
Okay, I'm gonna mute Jeremy, and so yeah, no, honestly, man, I couldn't have said it better myself, dude. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, man, if the OG, like, original trilogy, none of that like re-release stuff. If the original trilogy came out today, it would get roasted, dude. Sisters and brothers kissing, and like, I mean, come on, like, it was just. I mean, I didn't say it, but it was just, it would get roasted. So yeah, we overanalyze the shit out of everything these days, but that's what we're here for, man. What was the point of the internet? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jonathan, go.
All right, 2 minutes about Obi-Wan. I was excited. I'm always excited when I see anything with the name Star Wars in front of it. But except after I watch this series, now I will go forward with just much like, what is it? Is it trepidation or hesitation or
either one? I'm surprised you know both of those words.
I don't know what they mean. I just know they're big words that go in front of that. Anyway, so okay, so the show kicks off, and I'm like, let's see what Obi-Wan was doing before A New Hope kicks off. That's where my mindset was. It's like, let's go check this thing out, right? It's like, okay, cool. I'll buy the stuff that he's doing. He's smuggling fish, a fish-like creature. That's cool. Yep, he's keeping a far away eye on Luke Skywalker. It's like, that's pretty cool. But that's not what this story wants you to know about at first. The opening scene is something completely different. It's too much. I think they wanted to tell two separate stories, and in this series completely failed.
Yeah. I think the Inquisitors were a different show.
Yeah.
And I think the Inquisitors and the Leia stuff was a different show, and the Obi-Wan and the Vader stuff was this show, and then they were just like, eh.
So anyway, and so they lost me. And I'm sure we're going to get into the meat of it here very shortly. All right,
your 2 minutes is up, sir. All right,
okay,
so
well, I'm going to keep going really quick. I think it was the first 2 episodes came out at the same time. I literally looked at Colby and said, "We are not talking about this show week to week."
Yeah,
we cannot.
We made that mistake with Book of Boba Fett, and it was just like, God Almighty.
And here we are. We said 5 weeks ago that we were going to wait for this show to completely air. We're going to watch it in its entirety, and then we will give you our opinions about it. And if Jeremy is on the positive side, if there was a negative or a positive, I am in the disappointed branch. That's where I'm at. It's like not positive. It's not negative. I'm just like what Jeremy's saying. There is sparks of greatness throughout this entire series. It's just a lot of it gets drugged down by all the negative stuff that I find in this series. So Colby, you got 2 minutes. Ha!
Luckily, I talk faster than both of you jabronis, so we'll be good. I am like right down the middle on this.
That's a terrible
series,
opinion. Next, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy because there is so much to like here. I mean, that again, I got some talking points later, but just quick off the cuff stuff. The Vader Obi-Wan duel in the finale is great. I mean, Obi-Wan just absolutely went ham on Vader and loved it.
Yep.
Loved all the stuff with Vader, just period. Like, Vader and Obi-Wan is where this show is at its best. But it completely loses me with basically everything else, which is like, unfortunately, half the show. So yeah. I'm right down the middle. There is so much stuff here that is great. The other half, literally the other half of the show is just, some of it is cringe-worthingly bad. And we're going to get into it. So because this show is so, I guess, bipolar or polarizing, at least for me. So, John, let me explain to you what a point-counterpoint discussion is. Jeremy, you're smart, so I know you know. But for John's benefit.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, please.
So, in a traditional point-counterpoint debate, Jeremy may say something like, point, Jonathon, you suck. Jonathan would then say, counterpoint, no, I don't. Got it?
You suck.
So, yeah.
That's a really in-depth breakdown. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. But now you understand. So, yeah. So, let's see. We do have a couple of comments here. Eric says, Star Wars is the victim of its ability to inspire my imagination. The result is that my headcanon and selective memory far exceeds the reality of anything ever actually put on film. Dude.
Well said.
Perfect. Like, I was talking about something earlier. Like, here. Let me just throw this up here. This is one of our point counterpoints thing. These were supposed to be in order, but I'll just throw one out here. So, point, the Empire has TIE fighters. Counterpoint, but we're not going to use them. And I also remember dude, in my headcanon, I remember the Empire using a tractor beam in episode 4, the very beginning, to take over the Tantive 4, right?
All right.
They don't. It's like a Mandela effect, man. Like, I remember there being a tractor beam, and there isn't. It's not, and I'm like, fuck.
They shut down, and yeah. Anyway, the Tantive.
Yeah, what Eric said is right. There's so much stuff in my headcanon that I believe is real, but it's not.
Yeah.
All right.
Luke Skywalker knows how to use the Force, yet he picks up a skull and throws it at the control panel in the Rancor pit.
Right.
So I'm just trying to illustrate that these kind of
it's
problems
never been good.
are not exclusive.
Yeah.
No. I love Star Wars, and I think, was it Eric just now? What he said, it just so encapsulates what I think many of us feel, and that is that like we love this world, we love these characters, the fact that we're so immersed in this fantasy reality that George Lucas was able to create. It inspires the imagination. When you kind of zoom in to the micro of each of these movies, it's easy to find problems. I do agree with you. And you know, the TIE fighter thing, that's not the most egregious to me, but once you said that, it
like,
had me thinking about it. Or like, you know, Obi-Wan didn't recognize R2 in A New Hope. Like there are times throughout the series where things are just like, it was there. It was right in front of our face.
I don't seem to remember ever owning a droid. It's like, bro, he was literally there for the entire prequels. Plus, by the way, R2 is literally the most vulgar character for the entire saga. They bleep him the entire time. All right, so for our point counterpoint debate, because I'm in the middle, I'm basically going to throw out a point and a counterpoint, and I will let you guys just sort of run with it. You can both take the point stance, counterpoint. You can do what I am in the middle, whatever you want to do. Number one, not really number one, but I already did one. We'll start off officially. Point: this show never should have been made. Counterpoint: it should have been a movie instead. Jonathan, go.
Point: this show had never been. I completely disagree with that. There are way too many people that reap the benefits of this kind of content. Not necessarily us to take in the content, but the amount of jobs it produces.
Hey,
totally.
Like so there is absolutely, in my opinion, there's something out there for everybody. You know, this, to some people, this might be the greatest Star Wars thing they know. You know, and so I'm never going to say this show should never have been made. That is completely that's crap.
I was responding. I meant mostly from a television standpoint. Like I believe it should have been a movie. Is really the main thread of that.
It should have been a movie instead.
Yes.
Again, that's up for debate, which is what we're doing right now. It should have been a movie. I think it would have been cleaner. I think it would have been one head guy like a Kevin Feige standing over that saying, this is how this is going to be. This is going to have to be. And because we're spending $300 million to make this thing and blah, 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 blah. I think we would have had and again, I don't know, but I would like to sit here and believe that we would have had a more, a better flowing story than a jarring cutback to this story. Oh, and by the way, this is still going on. I don't care about this. Why you keep showing me this? Just show me this over here, please. So anyway, yeah, that's my point counterpoint on it should have been a movie. It's like it could have been, I guess, but I'm okay. I'm completely okay with it being a show.
Yeah, I think you bring up really good points. And for me, if what we got from Obi-Wan Kenobi is what's in the can right now, that show on Disney Plus, I do think would make a better movie. I think you could chop it down, get rid of the secondary plot lines, keep it really Obi-Wan and Vader focused, and you could cut a good movie out of what we got. That said, it could have been a good fucking show. There was no reason why it couldn't have been a good show. I felt like it was both spinning its tires almost in neutral or just fucking pedal to the metal on the gas. And it was never focused on character, and it seemed to be repeating action story beats, like Anakin ending up turning himself over at the end of episode 4 so that he could have the solo match with Vader, and then again in the finale, Obi-Wan turning himself over to have this one-on-one fight with Vader. That beat happened twice within 2 or 3 episodes, and it just felt like it was either doing too much or not enough. But they had
they rescue Leia twice. It's like, bro, like, why aren't you taking her back to Alderaan?
Yes, Alderaan reasons.
Correct.
Ewan McGregor is a treasure. He's a fantastic actor. Dude. They had the dude on set. They should have let him do more character stuff. But as it stands, I do agree that it should have been a movie instead.
All right, so I'm going to preface this next one with a couple of quotes. More, paraphrasing. But in A New Hope, Leia says, "Years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars," referring to, Bail Organa when she's putting the message inside R2. I feel like, given the events of this show, she should have been a little bit more overt and was like, "Hey, remember when you rescued me twice? I need your help again, right? So a lot of people have said that, well, she was being cryptic because she didn't want the message to get intercepted. But here's the thing. The message is inside R2. Like, she's not transmitting it. It's inside R2.
He is a dirty little droid.
If they intercept the message, that means they have R2. That means they have the plans. That means the rebels are fucked. So there's literally no reason for her to be cryptic there, right?
Yeah.
So, but just sorry, real quick.
No, go ahead.
Leia does not have any connection to Obi-Wan at all. They have never met. It's very clear in A New Hope they've never met. And think about the fact that Leia has no reaction at all when Obi-Wan dies. Luke is the one that is upset, right? So I say all of that to say, point, Leia has no place in an Obi-Wan Kenobi story. Counterpoint, the actress is amazing, dude. She nails Carrie Fisher's attitude. Like, that is little baby Carrie Fisher, 10-year-old Carrie Fisher, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
May I start
Go
this
ahead.
one off?
Lead us off.
Get him, Jeremy. Get him.
Look, guys, I'm not going to sit here and spend a bunch of time bagging on how terrible child actors are. That wouldn't be cool of me to just sit around and say that all child actors are completely trash in movies. That would be, it's almost like piling on to somebody that doesn't have the life experience. So I'm not going to sit here and say that little girl that plays Leia sucks. I'm not going to say it.
Absolutely not, man.
Because
children don't have the emotional capacity that adults do. Well, that's all we need to say. But I think she's a good Carrie Fisher 10-year-old analog. That's,
and there is a scale still. She does really good in her scenes opposite Obi-Wan. Other times it's just hard. It's hard.
Her and Reva.
Children. That scene is so cringe, and you can't hold it against her. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I did see a movie the other day called The Black Phone that had some child actors in it that were actually really good. That's the exception, not the rule. So I don't know. I didn't think that Leia was great as a character. I don't agree that Leia has no place in this story, though. I feel like there's a couple of things going on here. First of all, there's the subversion of the expectation. And I know ever since Rian Johnson put out The Last Jedi, we cringe at the word subversion. However, we thought that we were getting a Luke Skywalker story. There are possible conflicts that could create with Obi-Wan and Luke's relationship a little bit later on down the road. So they kind of took the other path. They sidestepped that, and to your point, Colby, they kind of created some canonical issues in their own right by doing this. But I think this allowed them to sidestep a lot of that, and I think that this series is about Obi-Wan returning from being this nihilist who has lost all faith in the Force and the teachings of the Jedi to somebody that can be hopeful moving forward, to Ben that we see in A New Hope. So through the Leia character, Obi-Wan is brought back to his humanity, his faith in the Force in a way that, like, we needed to bridge that gap. And I think Leia was the perfect tool to do that. I'm coming down hard on the kid. I thought she was fine. It's hard to act, I imagine, and for a young person, but she was good. I think she did nail some of the Leia isms that you would come to expect as a kid. So, I don't think she was great. I'm taking the other sides on both of these. I don't think she was great, but I do think she had a place in the story.
Yeah, I agree. John?
I completely agree that I'm 100% on board with that 10-year-old actress. I don't know her. I don't have her name in front of me, but she is precious. She's adorable. She did an amazing job of what she was given. She did an amazing job to her ability. What Jeremy said, dude, if you're out there and you want to bash a child for being a kid, trying to be surrounded by a green screen, and being literally told, imagine this is happening,
especially when like half your scenes are a counterpart to Reva, who is the worst character in the show.
And I agree with Jeremy. Like, her scenes with Obi-Wan, you could tell that like off camera that Ian McGregor and her were just chumming it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were being buddies. He's like, yeah, if you need to talk to me about anything, you go run it, but with an English accent or Irish accent. Sorry. And they would get.
Isn't he Scottish?
Yeah, he might be Scottish. You might be Scottish. Anyway, so the actress does an amazing job at what she is given. However, Leia has no place in the story. I would. I'm not going to say she doesn't have a place. Now,
remember, I'm prefacing all this stuff on the fact that this should have been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know, and
now,
you know?
I'm not going to sit there and say that she doesn't have a place in this movie. Colby, you brought up a fact that she doesn't grieve when Obi-Wan Kenobi dies in Episode 4, New Hope. I'm going to say by the time that Leia comes around, granted she's probably 18. I think that's
19,
the canon.
yeah.
They're 18, 19 years old. I'm believed she is now starting at the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi. She is learning how to become a diplomat, a leader, and I believe, like in my head, my canonical mind is like she understands that they are at war and casualties are a part of war.
Yeah, she grabs Luke and she's like, "Let's get out of here." Yeah,
the most emotional thing that we see Princess Leia do throughout the entire Skywalker series is she
kiss her brother.
No.
Oh, excuse me.
No,
Mary Poppins.
When she feels the loss of Han Solo.
Yeah.
And that is it. That's the only time she's ever she actually sits down. But at the same time, you have General Kenobi, yeah, sure, he's rescued you a few times, or you have the father of your only child that you love, you love unconditionally, and you feel the loss of his life in the universe. And so that is the only thing that has ever made Princess Leia crumble. Was the loss of Han Solo, which is that's big shit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And so
even though Ray Charles could have seen it coming, it was she was somewhere else.
And think about like Princess Leia Organa escaping the Death Star. She's got one thing on her mind: we got to blow this son of a bitch up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a mission. This has to happen.
God, Leia's so fucking awesome. Dude,
and so
she's one of the best characters ever. Like not in Star Wars ever. She's so awesome.
She's an amazing character, and I will. I think, and again, with the exception of the point that you made before you made the point counterpoint, I'm completely on the side with it's not gonna. When I go back and rewatch A New Hope, and I will, that knowing that she had an interaction with Obi-Wan when she was a child will not change A New Hope for me in the slightest.
Really?
I will be like, yeah, nope. I'll be like, because
it's almost ruined for me personally. But I
know that's personally. But again, personally for me, I'm thinking, you know what? By that time, she's about to become the leader of the rebellion. Yeah. So she has to understand that not everybody's coming home. When she says you and you go do X, some of those guys aren't coming back, and she understands that, including Obi-Wan Kenobi.
If you ever need anything, you don't know me. Lose my number, bitch. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great line. Yeah. If you ever need anything, call somebody else.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Point. The music is lackluster at best. Counterpoint. That finale, though.
Oh my God.
Let me take this one just real quick.
Colby, you please.
Okay, so here's the thing. Darth Vader is in this show a lot. It's not like he's in it for like one scene, like Rogue One, 2 scenes technically. He's in it a lot, right? They waited until the last scene to use the Imperial March, which is just like it's borderline. Look, this is gonna sound elitist, but it's unacceptable, dude. Like I'm sorry, it's not like it's a licensing thing. They own the rights to the song, right? It's how like that is hit like you don't. They're a package deal. I feel like, and people are like, well, you don't even hear the Imperial March until Empire, and that's true. But the Imperial March is everywhere else in the canon, even in the prequels. There's instances of it when Hayden is starting to turn, and you can hear a little bit of it. There's
when the clones are boarding the ships at the end of
you hear it
2.
in Rogue One. I mean, it's a Star Wars staple now, and for them to only use it in the last scene, like I stood up and was like, and I started clapping. I was like, "Fucking finally!"
Me too.
And my wife was like, "Sit down, jackass," and I'm like, "You don't understand." It's like, so yeah. Jeremy, what do you got?
I really am a big fan of Gareth Edwards' Godzilla film. I know this sounds like completely irrelevant, but I think that there's something about withholding the thing. It's like tantric, right? Like you're begging for it. You're just fucking wanting to hear it, and it keeps denying you. And then here we are, almost to the end of it, and you get that catharsis of, oh shit, there's the Imperial March. That's amazing. So
something to be said for that. Yeah,
I 100% agree. And I can see where you're coming from. I can see, because the music is so iconic, why you would want it to be in there more. I do feel like by not giving it to us, there's a little bit more payoff when it finally does come around. I will say that there was a lot of the use of Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes in the marketing for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And nowhere to be found.
Yep.
However, the lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and I'm not like a music theorist, I'm not super familiar with how all of this stuff works, but I feel like it took, obviously it's all the same key, but it took movements from both of those pieces and kind of melded them together into an original song that
I got a little bit of that. Yeah.
Also, it was highly effective. Is it as iconic? No, but give it time. Will it ever be as iconic? No, probably not. But I do think that it used familiar instrumentation to create something that was hearkening back to both of those pieces while also being its own distinct thing. So there's a real difficult task over at Disney Plus right now, and I think that is going to be ever hitting the mark in the same way they did with the theme for The Mandalorian, because the theme for Mandalorian is so damn good and so instantly recognizable and distinct, and because so much of what came in Obi-Wan Kenobi is so tied into the prequels, I feel like a lot of the music just kind of gets compared to these really great pieces of John Williams. So
yeah,
I do think that there is good music in it. Right now, it's not like an earworm. I can't hum it to you or anything like that, but I might need to see it a second and third time. I do think that there's a lack of just instantly iconic music in it.
I could to Colby's point, to Jeremy's point, Jeremy, I completely disagree with you on this. If this is The Mandalorian, by all means, give us all the new score you want. But Colby was right in the sense where when you see Vader, there is only one song Vader walks to. When you see Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's only one song that he needs to be doing anything with the Force to.
Luke,
when you see,
Yoda.
Dude, it's when you go and you make these new characters, by all means, let's do some original score music. And what upsets me about them not using John Williams' iconic freaking Star Wars score is there are people out there, guys like me and you, that spend thousands of dollars to make fan films that will use this music just to be demonetized. They don't care. They love it so much because they know this is Star Wars. The John Williams theme song or John Williams work is as much as Star Wars as Luke Skywalker and the Millennium Falcon and
Yeah, I've always said John Williams was the best casting that George Lucas ever did, dude.
And there's like I completely understand what you mean by Godzilla. You finally get Godzilla at the end of the movie. You finally get to see him fight.
Do you though?
But at the end, but the thing is just like when I'm sitting here at the end of 6 episodes and you feel that emotional attachment that you have wanted for 6 episodes, this is the biggest thing I got disappointed over. Why am I welling up 10 minutes before the show ends?
Yeah, it should be the whole time.
Why am I like finally having an emotional connection when I see like Obi-Wan walking away from Princess Leia? You don't know if they're ever going to see, like, if they don't make a season 2, this is the last time that Obi-Wan will see Princess Leia in canon. So you're like, he walks away to the Force theme song. You're like, where are these little nuggets for us in the last 5.5 episodes? Nothing. We didn't get anything. We literally, it felt like, and me and Colby had said this, it felt like it's Star Wars with its own show is scared of a copyright claim.
Yeah.
It
was weird. Yeah.
Just play the shit.
Do they have to pay themselves royalties to use it?
How much? I'm sure John Williams ain't going to wake up in the morning, watch the episode, make sure that his stuff ain't in it.
Sons of
bitches. Or else
he's
going to get a paycheck. I'm sure they have compensated John Williams 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah.
But to your point, Jeremy, where you said that all this music is used in all the advertisement, anything Star Wars ever, the first note you hear is bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. But as soon as it gets to these shows, it's like, except with Sans Mandalorian and Boba Fett, it's like bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. No, it's like, no, that's not it. Stop.
Yeah.
You're missing all the notes. All the notes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Jeremy took the L on that one. All right. So, all right.
I respect the take.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. I mean,
so that means I got a fucking W on the rest of them, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
sure,
You're winning.
yeah,
You're winning. You're winning.
Thank
You know what?
you're
Thank you.
you're 5-1. So
You win.
all right.
You're winning, but you blow goats. All right,
Yeah.
continue, please.
All right. So Jeremy touched on something earlier that I said the exact same thing, that Obi-Wan's journey in this show is PTSD. You know, he's not who he was anymore, to being a fully realized Jedi Master again. But this shit right here pissed me off, because this happens within 2 minutes of each other, and it's the same person saying it. Obi-Wan says both of these lines in the opening episode. So, point: the Jedi are dead. Counterpoint: when the time comes, the boy must be trained. So,
can I start this one,
what
please?
Yeah.
the hell? Which one is it?
Let me start this one. This is fucking
Yeah.
stupid. This is just like, this was the point again. Episode 1, I was just like, no, like I felt it. I was like, no. It's
Number
just
one,
like,
Obi-Wan would never tell another Jedi to fuck off like he did.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
Ever.
And then number 2, like, why are you going through all this force suppression? And because
He should be training every day. He should be the one
Yeah.
doing the Underground Railroad path
why?
shit.
Yeah, why isn't he trying to go Super Saiyan Jedi?
Yeah.
In a cave somewhere, you know. Anyway, so when Colby was right,
This is
something that
Jonathan's baby right here. He was pissed about this one.
I brought it up to Colby. I was like, dude, what the fuck are they doing? Like, you can't do. It's not even the next episode. It is 3 minutes
It's
apart.
the next scene.
And it hurts so freaking much. Like, this, somewhere somebody said, you know what we should do? This. People are gonna love it.
Well,
it's gonna make total sense.
the
Obi-Wan's
same-
waiting to train Luke Skywalker.
it's the same
But-
thing. It's the same thing right here. It's the same exact thing right here. Ice Cube Jr. No, I won't help you. Counterpoint. Also, yeah, I'll help you. Literally, like the exact same. Like a complete 180. I mean, what the hell, dude? Anyway, Jonathan,
I got no
you're done with that, right?
notes. I got no notes on that one.
Dude, I'm done. It happened at the exact same time, and then the next thing we see is a Jedi that is strung up, and Obi-Wan sees him. But I remember that was the point where I was like, well, now I'm officially nitpicking because of that moment. I'm just like, that.
I don't know. That was
angered
full on
me.
character assassination for me, dude. Straight up.
Oh,
like,
dude,
Obi-Wan would never do that, dude. I don't care
The
how long
Jedi
it's
are
been.
dead thing, very reminiscent of where Luke Skywalker's at, you know, and the reaction feels similar to me just listening.
And
to
he would
y'all
never
right
do that
now
either.
So the only thing I can go on is he did do that. It
It's consistent,
actually
yeah.
freaking happened in canon. So like, I don't know. I can be a hypocrite, right? So
Yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
we can
Sure.
just simply put it on that. But no, I had no notes on that because it is incredibly perplexing why he would go from the Jedi are dead to the boy must be trained. Trained for what? You know, like if the Jedi no longer exists, that he obviously has to eventually train Luke. I mean, that's what the
Yeah, sure.
original trilogy setting up. So then why put in a completely contradictory line, which leads to the next mention that you just now gave, and that was the I love that you call him Ice Cube Jr. O'Shea Jackson. Basically, he's like, no, I'm not going to help you. And then I assume, and this is me being incredibly generous, it wasn't like was there supposed to be a passage of time?
I think so. Like, okay, like I said the same thing. I was like, did we miss a line somewhere? Like did they cut out something? Because he literally says, I'm not going to help you, but you know what? You're asking for my help. You got it. And I was like, what? Like and it doesn't even cut. And it was just,
okay, it doesn't cut.
Well, it may cut, but he doesn't stop talking. Like,
And he's
it's
in the
so
same
odd.
costume and stuff, right? Like it doesn't look like I don't know.
No, it's definitely the same scene. I think it's just bad editing, and they it's one of those things that they've got 45 minutes for this shit to get going. Like they had to get him. Look, if he obviously knows who Obi-Wan is, why didn't they just make him a freaking Obi-Wan fanboy to begin with? And he's like, holy shit, General Kenobi needs my help. Yes, I'm honored. I'll help you. It's the same time frame.
Yeah,
I mean,
good point.
I don't like, what the hell, dude? It's whatever, man. Bad writing.
That's a good point.
So yeah, that mistake is completely unforgivable for me. Again, that I think that was the first bit. I was like, okay, this is cool. All right, whatever. It's a little slow or whatever it was in the beginning, and then that happened,
Yeah.
and then my brain was like, but, and
Right.
it's just anyway. So completely derailed me until but I told Colby, I was
I
like, you
just
know what?
don't. I
I'm gonna
just
watch
don't
this damn
think
thing.
Obi-Wan would choose one Jedi's life over another, or potential Jedi's life, Luke, over a Jedi who is literally right there asking for his help. And by the way, that awning that he brought down in the cantina must be the strongest freaking awning in the history of Star Wars. Dude, that shit's like this thin. And the Inquisitors are like, what the hell do we do now? Dude, it's just like,
Put that lightsaber away.
yeah. Oh, God. I don't think the volume really works that well on this show. You know what the volume is, right, Jeremy? No, John.
Oh yes.
So the rear projection stuff, like the whole like sphere thing they do, right, where they move the camera and the parallax changes. So it's a lot of the stuff is not green screen anymore. It's actually projected onto a background, and they're literally filming it. So it works beautifully on The Mandalorian, and really even in Book of Boba Fett. I can't believe I just said that, but in this show, it feels like I was at Galaxy's Edge, man. When they go into that Fortress Inquisitorius, I was like, this looks bad. I'm like, Andrew Bernard, this is bad. You know, and I'm just, it's, oh, God. All right. Next point. Reva is pointless.
No.
Counterpoint. But I do understand her motivations, even if her plan is stupid. And I can't put enough quotation marks around the word plan, because who in the hell would think it was a good idea to join Darth Vader's side just so they could get to him to kill him when he's... And you're going to kill a bunch of kids and people just because?
You mean the plan where it's the kidnap Princess Leia Organa to draw out Obi-Wan so it draws out Darth Vader kind of plan?
That would be the one. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, is it okay for Flea to just literally go to Hot Topic in 2005 and walk
We're
on
not
the
talking
set?
about Flea. This is Reva's point.
Like,
okay. All right. Okay.
Hey, how about that chase scene?
Just stop, Colby.
Sorry.
Anyway, Jeremy, you want to start on this one?
Yeah, sure. I got the perfect retort to this.
Oh.
You're a racist piece of shit.
Oh
And
no!
you're a racist piece
Whoa!
Look,
Whoa!
here's the deal. If you criticize Reva, no, I'm not gonna do that.
We appreciate that,
Here,
Jeremy.
it's fine. I'll fix it in post.
It's this really interesting thing where from scene to scene, it's
She teleports. Yeah.
no, it's like another director came in, or like,
Oh my God.
What Deborah Cho got a stomach ache and just bounced for the day or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Because Reva fucking gives it, dude. Like in the later scenes, when she's I think Ewan McGregor just brings it out of people. The scene she shares with Obi-Wan in the latter half.
She's
of
great
the
in other
season,
stuff that she's in.
She really is. She really is. And I think what she has a difficult time with is playing a archetypal villain.
Yeah.
As simply put as I possibly can. Go ahead.
I just didn't like how they, in the beginning, the Order 66 scene, they were like, hey, here's Reva, and they like zoom the camera in like I just did, you know, like, by the way, you may want to remember who this chick is, you know, and it was just like, oh, okay, pretty sure that's Reva, you know, it was just like a little telegraphed.
So, in this story, Reva is not pointless. Back to your premise of making this a movie, the Inquisitor stuff can go. I think we're kind of on the same page about that.
Yeah, I should have prefaced that at the beginning of the video. Sorry.
No, I think people get it. But I don't think Reva is pointless in this particular story, because I think she kind of functions as a mirror to Anakin. I mean, if we want to look at it thematically, I think her, again,
similar
with
motivations.
The subversion, we thought that they were going to be this very derivative redemption arc. And what I like about Reva's storyline is we don't get there. We definitely get to a point where she realizes the error of her ways. She decides not to kill Luke, and that would be the start of a redemption. What it looks like is that Reva has a redemption arc ahead of her. And some people will say she murdered children, she can't be redeemed. And I get it. I totally understand. It's kind of the same thing about Scarlet Witch. It's kind of the same
See, that
thing
part
about...
doesn't even bother me for some reason. Like, I'm more concerned with the fact that like lightsabers are not deadly to her. Apparently, she can just survive any lightsaber, wound.
Yeah.
And she can teleport to Tatooine without a ship. Like, I don't like that, dude. She's dying, and she has no way to get there, but beats Obi-Wan to Tatooine in the last
Revenge
episode.
will do wonders to keep you alive, dude.
Apparently, man. Apparently.
That's what the Grand Inquisitor says at one point.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like by the show existing, like just the fact that it exists and what happens in the show, a lot of people think, like me included, that they've already broken some of the continuity with A&H, and when they kill the Inquisitor, I'm in my head, I'm like, are they actually gonna do this? Because he dies in Rebels, spoiler alert, and it's like, damn, how ballsy are they? They're gonna like retcon their own canon.
Killed this dude twice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, John, what did you go on this one or no?
I have not said a single word about Reva in this stream yet.
I can tell you have some thoughts on it.
No, and the thought I have, and it's gonna be quick. The character does not work in this story at all. And I think Jeremy happened. This was the day that Jeremy came over to Colby's house. We all just happened to be there, and I dropped this mega bomb of all mega bombs. Right? You introduce a character. She comes off as a bully. She's not menacing. She's not threatening. Well, she's threatening because she has a weapon that can kill you, and we assume that she knows how to use the Force. All right, cool. This is going to be our villain for this series, right? Nope. Next episode, the most iconic cinematic character that has ever graced the screen becomes the villain.
That's a good point.
Why in the blue fuck?
Why does she exist?
Should I care about this person over here when you were giving me Darth Vader?
Plus, it's
there
it's
isn't
already
a comparison.
Yeah, it's already a prequel. So like 3 of your 4 main characters in this show, Vader, Obi-Wan, and Leia, we already know all of their fates, and it's not in this episode. It's not in this show. So there's no dramatic tension there. There's no real storytelling, and that's not this show's fault. That's just the fault of prequels in general. Yeah. But then you introduce this other character that people just don't connect with.
Nope. It is such a far-fetched thing that you have to go. It's just like, okay, cool. She knows that Darth Vader's Anakin Skywalker. Okay. She knows that.
By the way,
that
he would never let her live.
Dude, there are so many buts and ifs and buts and ifs, and then at some point it's just convoluted. It's too convoluted.
Yeah.
Plus, we are all talking about, we're talking about a movie franchise that takes place in space with wizards and lightsabers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her character is unbelievable.
Right? It's just like this.
Plus, what motivation does she have to go to Tatooine to kill the boy? Right? She doesn't know Luke is Vader's son. She doesn't know that Leia. She doesn't know that Leia is Vader's son. Her daughter. No. Like the message is all garbled. Like for the love of God, someone like put a freaking password on Bail Organa's text messaging, because good God, he's like, by the way, secret mission. I'm just gonna go to Tatooine and protect the boy. For which he never actually goes to Tatooine, by the way. What the fuck, dude?
Doesn't she just fill in the blank, though? I have to believe that she knew that Luke was Anakin's son.
No, dude. They never, like... Oof. If that happens, it's all off screen. And they never... Because the only reason she even connects it to Obi-Wan is... I think it's because she connects it to Obi-Wan is because I think Bail says the word Owen.
Yep.
And remember, she had that scene with him in the first... She's connecting it purely to Obi-Wan, not... Vader. She had both of Vader's kids and didn't know it, and I'm just like, like, I mean, it's come on, man.
Anyway, man. If they wanted to do an Inquisitor show, they should have done an Inquisitor.
Dude, I would be totally down for that.
And if they wanted to do Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader, then either like we keep going back to this. Either A, you make a goddamn movie about it, or B, you better have enough content to fill out 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And instead
2/3 of it is rescuing Leia.
Oh God.
And then the next point, we'll just smuggle Leia out of a fully armed Imperial base. No one will notice. Counterpoint, whoopsie. Because god damn, dude. Okay, look. I enjoyed a lot of this show, and it may not seem like it from the way I'm acting, but I enjoyed a lot of this show. This episode was
Episode 4.
Episode 4 was the worst episode of television that I have seen in a long time. Number one, the entire premise is beat for beat the exact same thing that happens in Jedi Fallen Order. Swims under the base, goes into some secret, hatch, infiltrates it, floods it.
Cool scene.
Gets the thing, and then leaves.
Scene, I agree.
Exactly the same, right? So you can't, Disney can't say, well, it's all canon 1 minute, and then turn around and say, well, only the live action really counts the next. Because they did the exact same thing in the finale when Obi-Wan slices Vader's helmet off and you see Anakin halfway talking to him. That is exactly the same as Twilight of the Apprentice, season 2 finale of Rebels, but it's not Obi-Wan, it's Ahsoka. It's the exact same story beats. And I'm like, damn, Dave Filoni must be pissed because the best part of this show was ripped off from Rebels. And I'm just like, what even is this, dude? Does the story group not familiar with the rest of the canon? Anyway, go. Someone. I'm rambling.
Jeremy, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
You go, man.
Okay, all right. So my big problem with this entire episode, again, because I stewed on this for a week, and again, I told Colby if this is the same damn rant coming off of Vader shows up, and now I'm supposed to care about this Reaver guy, right? The end of episode 3 is Obi-Wan being drugged through fire 15 feet away from Darth Vader. And I say, and quote, if Obi-Wan hobbles away from Darth Vader and escapes, I'm going to be out of the next episode. And sure as hell, he escapes from Darth Vader 15 feet away.
Well, you see, he had just used up all of his. He used up all of his force meter. God. He hadn't found a force orb yet where he could, in Madden terms, Vader's force ability is a 99, but his recovery is a 2. So,
dude. Anyway, so I was just my number one thing going into episode 4 was where the fuck is Vader? And he doesn't show up until the end of episode 4. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this is very apparent that Obi-Wan's going to show up. Yep, Obi-Wan's saving because they have to. Leia's not going to die. Obi-Wan's not going to die, which is an overlaying theme from this entire show.
By the way,
so he's going to get her out of there somehow.
Keep talking, John, but I submit to you this just riveting action scene right here.
Stop it with the slaps.
Look at this crap, dude.
The slap
what kind of yuck wise guys
Judo
crap
chop.
Is this, dude?
Judo chop.
I mean,
come
on,
blaster
man.
Shot. Judo blaster shot.
That's not it. That's who in the hell watched that? I want to know where this editing room is, where they were they're probably all smoking cigars because that's what I don't know. And they're just editing and they're you know what? This is good shit right here. We're putting this in.
I guarantee.
What the hell, dude?
Maybe, dude.
The worst episode I've seen in 10 years of any TV show.
She doesn't even have the decency to have the blaster in her boot or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not like it's not like her glove has got a stun gun or something in it. She's literally
dude, that would have made more sense. I think they probably shot it that way. I guarantee that's what happened.
We'll fix it in post.
Exactly. No, she probably had a gun on her and blasted him real quick. But maybe the actress or the director was like, "Hey, let's give you some hand-to-hand action." And then it's well, you going up against 2 stormtroopers because everybody could kick the shit out of a stormtrooper. It's remember, open hand slap on a helmet
at this point
works every time.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't throw in a Wilhelm scream as the one was falling. Oh. Jeremy, save us from this episode, please.
I got nothing. This is easily the worst episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi,
God,
and it really does come down to the way that they staged the action sequences. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if the volume plays a factor in this. I don't know how big that soundstage is.
Yeah.
But the chase scene through the forest, one way that you could understand how that would happen is if they were running around on a 30-foot
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's exactly why it looked like that. I mean,
they're not
absolutely.
able to get to a full sprint. So then Obi-Wan is fighting all of these stormtroopers in a hallway. They're closing in on all sides. He's got his lightsaber out and he's just like swinging it like this.
The volume is
deflecting.
actually just a phone booth.
Well,
but
and
like,
we know
yeah.
that stormtroopers are incompetent, right? Like that's always been a thing. But once they're in such close quarters, it really just brings way too much attention to it. The clip that you just showed, that was like I just started laughing and rewound it immediately and was like, Victoria, look at this. This is fucking ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, episode 4 is, I think if you pulled episode 4 out of this, there's probably some important reasons why you can't pull it out. But I think if you got rid of that episode, it would
Here's
be a
the
better
thing
series.
though, dude. I thought I said the exact same thing the other day. I was like, what if they just didn't do episode 4? And I was like, Reva gets Leia at the end of episode 3 because somehow she knows where the end of the tunnel is because Reva. So let's say they take that part out. Tala is escorting Leia to the pilot, right? Let's say like Reva doesn't get her. You could literally get rid of episode 4 and they end up in the same place in episode 5 where the hangar is. And it's like, bro, what the hell is this?
Now you've already got a feature-length movie. You
That's
get
what I'm
rid of that
saying.
one episode.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You got Obi-Wan learns how to do a few like force shenanigans to distract Vader, and then he force jumps onto the ship as it flies by, and that's how he escapes. At least we get to see it.
So
and again, go ahead.
Eric has a good point. Like, and I agree that like it seemed like they were having to write the chasers to be slow because they're chasing a 9-year-old child, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure the volume played into it too, because you're right. It's basically just a soundstage, and yeah, I mean, it's weird because it really works on The Mandalorian, but it's like they couldn't figure out a way to really do it properly with this show. Speaking of practical effects, Disney doesn't understand how lightsabers work. Just period. I will say the new practical lightsabers, like if for those who aren't familiar, they're no longer using like metal sticks and rotoscoping everything, you know?
Yeah.
They're actually using real lightsabers that are lit up. The ambient lighting looks great. Some would say it's a little too intense. The red light looks great. The blue light is not forgiving at all. Dude, Obi-Wan, I mean, Ewan McGregor looked like Alec Guinness in that scene when he was apologizing. It was because, it brings out every, imperfection in your skin. But what the hell is this? Hold on.
What are we watching?
The actual... Look, it bounces off. Look, cut in half, no head. Cut in half, no head. And instead, no. I mean, like, I get that this is a children's show-ish, but I mean, bro, like, cut a stormtrooper in half.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Let's do an even better example. I think it's episode 5 when Reva has all those stormtroopers and they're trying to blast open the gate. Right, the stormtroopers are literally hitting the gate, and the whole time I'm thinking, Reva, you ignorant slut, you have a lightsaber. What are you doing? Just cut through the door. Like stop all of this nonsense. And then then somehow they're whispering through the door. I'll take that through the Force, whatever. And then she finally cuts through the door. I'm like, you could have done that an hour ago. Like they don't. It's why Disney. Why?
Anyway, just again, that's more that going back to what we said about the Jedi asking for help, and then the boy must be trained. It's just it's the same thing.
Yeah, you can't give it to me here, exactly right here. Vader's ability to use the Force is incredible until the second ship takes off because
you're right. Like the 99 Force power. You gotta let it recharge.
You can't show us that and then go all Magneto on the ship, right? And then do that. Like maybe there was a second hangar or something, and he just
firstly that was badass. That was badass to see, by the way.
That really shot is incredible. There's like a 2-second shot where it's like a wide shot, and you just see Vader's like this tall on the screen, and you just see him reaching up. That shot was epic.
It was great.
But it's the same reason they don't ever show Force users just doing that move, like Force grabbing another Force user and incapacitating them. Because if you can do that, you would just do it every time, right? The only time that I remember in canon where that happens is episode 3 of the movies, Revenge of the Sith, where Dooku lifts up Obi-Wan with the Force and kind of like Force chokes him, right? And he's out of the fight. But the only reason they allowed that is because Anakin was there to save him. Had it been Dooku versus Obi-Wan, they would have just fought normally. Because you can't take the cat out of the bag and put it back. Yeah. So it's the same problem with the lightsaber thing. They just
real quick on the lightsaber thing. The clip you showed, unjustifiable. I do like how the lighting of the sabers is used very clearly to represent the light and the dark side of the Force.
Dude, it's so good.
There's a scene where
you don't really get it from this one, but
I guess it was in Rebels. I don't watch children's cartoons, but there's a scene where Vader's Anakin's face is overcome in red, obviously, and then it transitions to blue when he starts to kind of say, you didn't kill Anakin, I did, and then the face is overcome with red again. So it's like the red and the blue, obviously synonymous with the light and the dark side of the Force. And I thought the way that they used the lighting from the sabers to reflect the narrative that was going on was
legit
creative. You didn't
kill Anakin Skywalker, I did, and then the color changes. That. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like some of like legitimately the best Star Wars stuff, like period, is in this show. And then and then the other 5 minutes later, it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's so weird.
So,
I've been running with a lot of these. I'm sorry, you guys go.
Was the ship inside the other ship, and there was like a hangar door?
No, you can see it.
So big
you can see
that it could escape.
A lot of people missed it. Like I missed it the first time I watched it. I was like, that ship was not there.
I watched it like 3 times.
It's there. It's just straight up in the very, very far background. You can see it.
Yeah. When the first ship is taking off and it shows it when Vader's got him in his grave, if you pause that scene, if you're missing it, Jeremy, you see the outline of another ship.
Yes, it's there.
Parked?
Yeah, still parked.
Okay,
it's there.
Okay.
But I want to know who was, I guess maybe a droid was piloting that ship, because like who drew the short straw on that one?
There are no life forms on board. Like I'm going back to old Star Wars again. There are no life boards on life forms on board the ship.
And it reminds me of Blue Harvest. Hold your fire. Hold your fire. You don't make the budget, Terry. I do. We charge him by the laser now?
There's a million freaking droids in the Star Wars universe. Anyways, I've digressed. Yeah. But yeah, that scene really did that scene really did bother me. So now I got to go back and look for the second ship.
Yeah. We've already touched on this, but just some of the worst action I've ever seen with the Leia chase scene. Dude, that final duel. I mean, what kind of a freaking boss is Obi-Wan, dude? Like, he turned. First of all, the cinematic part of it is just great with the lighting, but because of the choice to use practical lightsabers, apparently every fight just has to be in darkness now. Which, okay, cool, but Steadicam, really, in Star Wars. I mean, it's funny because I actually didn't even notice it. I don't see stuff like that a lot of times. Anyway, I keep running. I keep rambling. Jonathan, what do you got on this one?
Oh, some of the worst action scene. I mean, okay, first off, all right. I am not the most agile of people. I am not the fastest of people. However, I do, I live in a home with a 13-year-old child. If I am 4 feet away from that 13-year-old child and I want to capture him, I am 2 steps away to accomplish
this. This is taking a turn.
I can literally go 1-2 steps and I got him.
Yeah.
Why the banter? Why the threatening presence? It is a 10-year-old kid. You grab her, you put her in a sack, you go.
Oh, you're talking about Leia. Okay, I was thinking Anakin's not really that. Okay, sorry.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about the worst action scene with the Leia chase scene. Dude, that was like, again, that's one of the things that it took me out of it. Is just like, okay, just grab her. She's a kid. Just grab her. She's a kid. You have got the most Flea and his 2 other yahoos are the most incompetent kidnappers on the planet. And then again, the next episode, I believe it was episode 2 or 3, same thing. It's like, Obi-Wan, this entire thing would be ended if you just.
He's literally in slow motion. She runs by him and he goes,
God,
to try to grab her. And I'm just like, there's a better way to film that.
This has a lot to do with, I think they I think you brought it up, Leia not having a place in this story. I think this brings up a lot of things. It's like, well, what's Leia gonna do? It's like they don't want her just standing next to Obi-Wan the whole time. She's got to do something.
Yeah.
And the same thing with when they're in the hangar.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to fix the breaker box. She can fit in there.
Oh my god, dude.
So
yeah.
anyway, that's all. It's
I
like,
actually
we got to give Princess Leia shit to do.
I didn't hate that because the guy's telling her what to do.
Okay,
but
so we're talking about
still.
We're taking it's not an action scene, so we're gonna keep talking about the worst action scenes, which was again. Now what's really cool is like there's cool stuff going on when they're trying to escape that bounty hunter planet. Like the bounty hunters that are after them, they look awesome.
Yeah, that was some
Like,
John
they
Wick
have the-
stuff, dude. That was cool.
They had the big dinosaur guy, and they had a guy who looked like Forlom, and we got to see again the actor's name who plays all the clone troopers.
Yeah,
he's
Tamir
on
Morrison,
that planet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good call.
I mean, there's so much cool Star Wars stuff going
but
on
then
this planet.
But then they cut to Jedi or to Sith parkour because
Oh my god! But anyway, and then it's like parkour
Reva is the worst.
I don't mind the part. I don't care. Like the parkour is fine, but the more irritating than the Reva parkour is Obi-Wan not being able to catch a goddamn 10-year-old.
Yeah,
That is the most irritating thing in the world.
and you mean physically, like not with the Force. You mean like grab her,
Dude,
right?
just grab her.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is she gonna? She's not gonna overpower you, and if she does, just
She-
use the
She
Force
literally
just a
does.
little bit.
What's that over
a
there?
little
And then, like,
All right, Jeremy. What do you think
What do you-
about all these action
what-
scenes? These incredible chase scenes, Jeremy.
Oh boy. Yeah, that the one in the forest, you have to feel like they could have just head her off at the pass. Like there didn't have to be a chase scene, and that's why, Jonathan, I think you bring up a really
they
good
get her
point.
anyway.
Like,
What the hell's the point?
it's like they wanted to give her action sequences.
Yeah.
Again, and I know this might be a cop out, but it's 4-quadrant storytelling. The idea is girls that are Leia's age can see this character and identify with her. I'm sure that it's exciting to certain people who aren't seeing it through the same critical eye. And then on the Obi-Wan chase scene, like if she could have like slid into a vat of grease, like one of those greased up pigs in like a high school prank, like where she's running and they keep trying to grab her and she just slips out of their fucking arms because she's all lubed up. That would have been something.
I'd have been okay with that.
I'm not a screenwriter here. I've just got better ideas than they
Don't
do.
worry, they're not either.
Yeah. There are some really bad action sequences in it. We spent some time with that.
Let's talk about that finale duel.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I talked a little bit about the way that the lightsabers are used to kind of illustrate the character motives at the time in the scene, and that's really cool. I also like how Obi-Wan did a couple of things that maybe at first glance you won't notice. I'm sure you guys probably have thought about it, but it bridged the gap nicely between the prequels, which is where all of the fight sequences were very choreographed, very fluid, very dancerly, I guess, if that's a word. And then you move to the original trilogy. And what people love to say about the original trilogy is they are emotionally charged lightsaber battle sequences,
Right.
which is a way to justify saying they ain't that great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're just
Sure.
kind of
Very lumbering and like the lightsabers don't weigh anything other than the hilt, right? The blade is weightless. So,
Yeah.
and they're like,
I like the
this was a good hybrid between them for sure.
yes, this bridges those gaps really well, and it also showcased using the Force in interesting ways that we've seen in the games.
Yeah.
We've seen in other canon. We've never really seen utilized this way in the movies. I really like the framing device in episode 5 with the lightsaber battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, the de-aged Anakin. I think we're going to come back to this here in just a minute, but
The 40-year-old Padawan.
I really like that framing device. And
That was
even
awesome.
Still, when Vader says, when we last met, I was the apprentice and you were the master, he can never best Obi-Wan because of his pride, because of his desire to dominate, right?
Yeah,
so like
to actually beat his master, that is what he's trying to do. Obi-Wan's just fighting.
Yes,
Eric
yes.
says they added Leia because his girls jump high in Lego Star Wars. It was a diversity hire. Okay.
But yeah, I love the final duel. I love that, like, it's contradictory to what Obi-Wan says, but I don't believe that Obi-Wan ever really, like Jonathan, just what you were saying, he never wanted to beat Anakin. He never wanted to fight Anakin. Except for when he decides he's going to go and fight Anakin, which again is kind of complicated. How
more
all
of a
that shit
necessity
works out.
thing. Yeah.
But
did you notice that at one point he switches to left-handed?
No.
Yeah, so watch it again. It's really fluid. Like he's doing some kind of like twirl spin thing and goes behind his back and then grabs it with his left hand and then slices him and then like turns the saber sideways and like starts pummeling him in his little like torso light bright that he has.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, dude, turn it around and stab him. You know, but like the dramatic, that whole scene, while being completely convoluted and not realistic as an actual fight, within the context of their relationship, works so well.
And within the context of the relationship, Obi-Wan will always have the high ground.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really interesting point that I got to give credit to Film Speak. He said, it's not just about physically having the high ground. It's that Obi-Wan is coming at this from a
moral high ground. Yeah.
The moral high ground. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love how Vader has the high ground and then believes or like basically thinks that Obi-Wan is dead. And what I didn't like is that Obi-Wan does it again because like this is what I didn't like. For the second time, he says, I will do what I must, because he says the exact same thing before the Mustafar duel, but he's not going to kill him. And it's like, the Jedi are dead. The boy must be trained. Like, bro, like you got to fucking take a stand, and you hitting Vader in his, little breathing thing with the actual hilt of the lightsaber isn't going to do it, right? You got to kill him.
So I will do what I must. You read as I will kill you.
I mean, what else could it? I mean, if that's as far as if he has to go with it, which I feel like it is. So yeah, Jonathan, I'm going first. I'm going first a lot. Okay, deal with it, John.
No, please.
No. Jonathan's been texting me like, "Hey, you're going first a lot," and I'm sorry. It's because I'm passionate about this, man. And I'm giving you guys time.
At the very
but Jonathan's not
like,
getting time. I'm muting. Jonathan.
No, he was just like, "Oh, I'm going to be the host," and yada yada yada. This is Jeremy. This is John, and I'm going to talk a lot.
I'm in control. Okay.
Yes, you are.
I'm here for it.
Anyway, and I wanted to make a point about your last blurb, but I was like, it's gone now.
There it is. It's back. It's back.
Look, you made it. All right, cool. You know what does? Like, worst action scenes, counterpoint that final duel, though, is exactly like what we got in Boba Fett. Terrible chase scenes.
Oh, God.
The end scene with Mandalorian and Boba Fett flying out with their jetpacks, blasting everything, is what we finally wanted to see, and they knock it out of the park. Anyway, that's all the comparison I was going to make. Colby, if you would like to continue talking on the next point, please, let's continue.
No, I'm not saying a word for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, he's done now.
I'm sorry. I got to get this out. You know what I mean? We all do. What's next?
I want to go back to that other thing real quick. Is that what you interpreted, Jonathan? Is that when he said, "I will do what I must," that he is saying, I have to kill you?
Oh boy.
There's no wrong answer, but just don't fuck this up.
There's a right answer though.
I don't think it's within Obi-Wan's. I think he loves him. I think Obi-Wan loves Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. And I think that's a flaw because the Jedi are not supposed to love. And I think it's
that's some deep shit right there.
I mean, that's why he knows he failed. Training Anakin.
And then Vader has to like pour salt in the wound, and he's like, "I'm not your failure. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker.
Dude,
I did."
I'm telling you.
And Obi-Wan's like, "Yeah, but I still let you do it, so I am a failure."
Messed up.
Vader's jabroni.
I thought that was Vader. I thought that was Anakin coming through and letting Obi-Wan off the hook.
No.
And then
No. Okay.
Over by
Vader. that is Vader the entire time. That's where the freaking light is a you used the word earlier, the Rian Johnson thing. Oh my God.
Subversion.
Yeah, good God. It's that word. That's Vader the whole time.
I
and
thought
you think
the way
and
I
you think
interpreted it,
it's supposed to be Anakin, but he's saying I've been Vader this entire time. Anakin's been dead a long time, bro. Like you got to let that go, you know.
then how? I'm not disagreeing. Then how is it that Vader's able to have the realization in Return of the Jedi when Anakin comes? So okay, this is in my mind, in my head canon, it is Obi-Wan. You're not the one who killed Anakin, and that's Anakin almost relinquishing him of the guilt. And then Vader comes into he gets back into the driver's seat and he says, I did. And that's when his face goes red.
Yeah.
So I almost thought that moment right before it was to alleviate the guilt that Obi-Wan was feeling and to allow him to finally forgive himself for what he held himself accountable for. He believed that he's the reason why Anakin died. But in actuality, it was the choices that Anakin made. It was never Obi-Wan's fault.
Right. No, you're 100% right. I think that like that is the surface level stuff. Like it's supposed to be Anakin talking to him, but below the surface, it's really been Vader the whole time. Kind of like, Far From Home when Green Goblin is pretending to be Norman, right? He doesn't want to relinquish that part of him. You know, that's kind of what I got from it. I mean, I could be reading way too much into it.
I think we're both reading it slightly different. I think I agree. He has been Vader the whole time.
Yeah.
Jonathan, sorry.
No. That I think I had the simplest of points. That's all I was gonna say. It's just like I just don't think Obi-Wan just doesn't have it in him to kill his
I don't think he does either.
his apprentice. So
that's what I'm saying. Like Obi-Wan constantly is saying stuff that isn't true.
Him doing what he must is showing Vader, you cannot beat me. And he never does. He never, like, Vader does not beat Obi-Wan Kenobi ever. He walks away as the survivor, as we see in A New Hope, but he doesn't win. He doesn't win that fight. Obi-Wan wins that fight.
Yeah, there's a blurb, there's a chapter in, I want to say it's the episode 2 novel. It may be the episode 3 novel, but Obi-Wan and Mace Windu are talking, and Mace basically, or Obi-Wan's feeling down because he's like doesn't think he's good enough, right? Mace is like, and I picture Samuel L. Jackson doing this because so it is. He's like, listen, motherfucker, like I invented a lightsaber form of combat that's literally called the killing form, and I couldn't beat you on my best day. Like he literally is like he's like, Obi-Wan, you are the. I'm gonna get really, really nerdy here. So there's 7 forms of lightsaber combat.
Nerd.
Obi-Wan is the best practitioner of Form 3, which is a very defensive style in like the history of the Jedi. But he doesn't know that. He's just that good. It's called Sarisu, is what it's called. And Mace basically puts him in his place. He's like, look, I invented this form because like I have a purple lightsaber. I already sort of walked the line between good and bad, red and blue together, purple. That's kind of what Mace Windu kind of walks that line on the dark side, where Obi-Wan is just that good. He doesn't need any extra thing. And I thought that was cool.
So the Jedi were never supposed to be warriors. That was one of the big problems in the prequels.
Peacekeepers. Yeah.
Yes, correct. They're supposed to. And so that's why I didn't believe that when Obi-Wan said, I will do what I must, that he was saying, I must kill you, perhaps defeat you. But yeah, I like Jonathan's take. I think that's I tend to fall on the side of that. So there we go. Point Jeremy. Took Jonathan's point and got a point for
Take all the points. Take all the points. It's gonna be fun.
All right. So we talked about this. We talked about this earlier, but Hayden just looks ridiculous as young Anakin. But he looks absolutely epic as Vader, and we already talked about the whole lighting thing. Jeremy, what'd you think about the 40-year-old Padawan?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You
agreed.
Put too much old person, or you put too much de-aging on the person, and then it's the uncanny valley. It looks fucking weird. You don't put enough, and then it's, oh my God, he looks too old. I thought that his performance sold that was the Padawan Anakin that we saw in the prequels, and I didn't have an issue with it, though it's pretty fucking obvious that he's a 40-year-old man.
Christopher Branch, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
you guys aren't related, are you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
On my mom's side.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Where were we?
Oh, we were talking about de-aging and whatnot.
What
Didn't bother me at all, dude. Dude, I'm just saying again, man. You could put you can have Hayden come back as Anakin at 60. It's fine with me, man. Keep cashing those checks,
Yeah,
Hayden Christensen.
so-
Dude, I tell you what, bro. They're like, you're never
100%.
gonna.
I'm so glad for him, dude. I feel so happy for him, dude.
Yeah, and again, I remember he still, he gets so much crap for the 2 movies he was in the prequels.
Yeah.
He really does.
And he didn't have much to work with. Those scripts are wooden as fuck, dude.
Bad. And then the other thing is just like, can you imagine being told how to be emotional from George Lucas, who is on camera in interviews saying he doesn't know how to convey emotion?
All right, Hayden.
So-
Hayden, I want you to be a little bit more intense on this one.
A little more
action.
intense.
You know,
And then,
Like,
and then I could just see George Lucas being like, you know what, that works. You know what I'm saying? For so many of those scenes.
he's sitting there counting his money, like, so action, George.
Oh.
Jesus, I said I'm busy. You know, like,
And it was nice to see like him have a little bit of emotion, have that, like, you could see even as a Jedi, as a Padawan, having just being a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little irritated
Yep.
that he feels like his master is toying with him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so
And he feels like he should be better than him already. Yeah.
It's just like, because he knows he's the chosen one and everything.
Right.
That's the thing that Anakin Skywalker can never drop, ever, for the history of his being and the history of that character. He cannot let go of the fact he's supposed to be like the Messiah. He is supposed to the guy who brings balance to the Force. But this guy,
I mean, he does.
this
ultimately.
guy that kind of got forced into being his master.
See what you did there.
See, this guy got forced into being his master is better than him, because what we said earlier, he has the moral high ground. He's not trying to be better.
It's just who he is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that frustrates the shit out of Anakin. I will say that, like, when he first turned, to face, because he's facing away from the camera, and then he turns, and they didn't even try to de-age him a little bit. It took me out of the show for about 10 seconds, but then they start fighting, and I'm like,
yeah.
But the fighting wasn't even the part that brought me back in. It was the back and forth between them.
It's
Like,
the dialogue.
Like,
Yes,
those two actors have like never stopped being those characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just slipped right back into it. And Jeremy, you touched on this earlier. I really loved how they used that scene as a whole, like, framework for that episode, about how they already know each other's moves and all of that. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, and it plays out in that sparring match as well as in
exactly the way it. Yeah.
So that was super cool. Like the bringing down of the ship at the end, and then being outsmarted, just being clouded, his judgment being clouded by his desire to win. So yeah, I think that was some of, if not Hayden Christensen's best work is in Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's a testament to him as well,
All right. So the Empire has TIE fighters.
Oh no.
But they're not going to use them.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
go, Jonathan. Because
all right. So not a single TIE fighter.
The amount of times a single TIE fighter could have ended the show.
If I may really quick, there's a little, I'd say probably 8-9-year-old boy that lives deep inside me. And I remember when people ask me, hey, John, where do you get your affinity for Star Wars? And I will never, ever forget this. The first time my dad let the TV babysit me, he took me over to my aunt's house. He had to do some yard work, and he popped in Star Wars: A New Hope into that VCR. Not going to lie, I was bored. There was a lot of it that was boring. But I tell you what was awesome. Having Han Solo and Luke Skywalker blow up some goddamn TIE fighters from the Millennium Falcon. And I'm just like, wow, space combat. And I was just like,
great kid, don't get penisy.
And so exactly, and it was just like, so, and then it's just like, oh man, this is this as bad? Them not bringing in any kind of iconic ships, with the exception of maybe Darth Vader's shuttle. Them not using any kind of iconic ships. Well, no, we see Star Destroyer as well.
That's the Devastator. Star Destroyer, but I'm a nerd. So,
but anyway, so we see, oh my God, what was I going to say? Let me see here. You see the thing. Is it worse that we don't see any TIE fighters or other iconic ships? Is that worse? Is that a bigger crime, or is John Williams the crime? And because I think it's all Star Wars. But I just said it, and it's very apparent to me. I would pay money. I would pay $50 to see the entirety of Obi-Wan redone with an edit, taking out the Inquisitors and adding more John Williams.
Yeah,
I would,
okay.
Yeah.
I would
Did you
spend
see-
$50 on that.
Did you see the Mandalorian season 2 finale where they redid the Luke Skywalker thing with the actual Force theme? Oh my god,
Dude.
Holy crap! Like, and that scene was epic to begin with. Like, it didn't have a problem, but then you add his, theme into it, and it was taken up another level, and it was like, god damn, man, they're like, Disney really tries hard to mess up the Star Wars formula. Like, it's easy. just give us the stuff that works, man. Like, it's, you know what I mean?
Give us some space combat, please. Can we have space combat?
Yeah.
And can we have some goddamn John Williams?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we get a Wookiee?
And green lightsabers, please. Disney fucking hates green lightsabers, dude. Oh my god, you never see them. It's always the blue, man.
That's when we get the Yoda series of Yoda on Dagobah. He might have his little green lightsaber waving around somewhere.
All right. Did you weigh in on this one, Jeremy?
What?
The TIE fighter one?
Let's see. The Empire has TIE fighters, but we're not going to use them. I don't know. I don't have much to add to that. It's just another kind of, I think when you were talking about the use of the Force powers and how Dooku was able to do this in a certain fight,
yeah,
but that wouldn't be able to fly if Anakin weren't there to save him, or if Obi-Wan weren't there to save him. It's kind of the same thing. Plot armor. Yeah, 100%. It's I don't think this is a problem exclusive to Star Wars. I think that this, is just fiction as a whole. There are
Why didn't they just use the Eagles to drop the ring into Mountain Doom? It's
probably the best example, dude. Yeah, 100%.
I hear you.
So, but to Jonathan's point, I really do think that space combat needs to be a pretty substantial part of anything called Star Wars, and I think that's why I fucking love Rogue One so much.
Oh my god,
really
dude,
is the most Star Wars of Star Wars.
Yeah,
and to even take it one.
There's a little bit of that in the Mandalorian, especially like for someone who's a fan of Star Wars Galaxies, building your own ship when he made that Naboo starfighter and turned it into like that, really sleek racing.
Oh, that's badass.
Variant. Like that shit
badass.
That's legit, dude. Like we need more of that.
So you just now mentioned something. This is a more general point, but when you said the Disney tries to fuck up the Star Wars formula, just give us what we know. That's what The Force Awakens was. There was a very loud group of people that were like, look, that's just a retread. We want to see the galaxy expanded, not constantly caving in on itself. So let's do something different. They put out The Last Jedi. It was substantially different. Then it was, you raped my childhood. So it's either too formulaic,
there's no right
not
answer,
formulaic enough. So they try to course correct with Rise of Skywalker. Nobody wins. It's like, we are a very vocal fandom, and there are so many of us, and we're not a monolith. I mean, the three of us have slightly different takes on all of these things. So it would be impossible to please everyone. However, I feel like my biggest problem is that the Star Wars universe is always folding back into itself instead of building outward.
Like even the Mandalorian, which is pretty much universally loved. It's like, hey, remember Tatooine? It's like, we remember Tatooine.
I remember Tatooine.
It's like, just,
you remember Jawas?
The thing,
I saw the ATSTs and I clapped.
Yeah.
I remember.
The thing about The Mandalorian that makes it so great, in my opinion, is a couple things. It's not a prequel. It's a totally unexplored time frame, right? And Favreau and Filoni are two of us. Like, they know what they're doing. They know the canon. More importantly, they care about it, right? I did not see that same level of care with Obi-Wan, because like right here, like Obi-Wan slicing Vader's helmet was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But I really loved that scene when I saw it in Rebels like 5 years ago. And it's just like, okay. I mean, and again, I go back to the Fortress Inquisitorius stuff. It's the same mission that they do in Jedi Fallen Order. Now, again, not everybody plays the video games, but Disney can't say it's all canon and then turn around and say it's not all canon. And that scene, that mission takes place 5 years before this show does. So they've made no upgrades to this place in 5 years. Anyway, that's the kind of shit that I think about. But
Jonathan,
Yeah.
Yo,
What
Go.
do you think about that, dude?
what do I think about Obi-Wan's the okay, first off, I had to go and see this scene. Now my buddy Glenn, God rest his soul, he's the one who brought up, he's like, hey man, look, it's like I've made this argument before. I could not watch Rebels or Clone Wars because again, when the entrance comes on, again, it sounds like a show that's trying not to get copyright claimed for not using the correct music.
Yeah.
So I never watched it. I never watched it. But then my buddy Glenn, he was like, "Hey man, look, there's this episode where Ahsoka fights Darth Vader.
It's so
watch
good.
it. Go watch
so
it."
good.
And I
Maul
was
was
like,
there,
okay.
and
I don't even like watch the whole thing. I just watched that fight scene. And I was like, this is good shit. And needless to say, here we are in 2022 getting the same goddamn
hold
thing.
on 1 second. You've not watched The Expanse, Jeremy?
Nah.
Bro. Wow. Okay, well, I got to fix that. Jonathan, keep going.
So that, I mean, that's it. The whole thing is just like, that doesn't bother me because again, it's really hard for people like give me a character that like the Admiral Thrawn, right? If they just kind of introduce this Admiral Thrawn guy and he's like arguing with an Imperial officer and he turns around and he walks off. And then me, I'm like, who the fuck was this blue skin dude? And I get bombarded by the internet.
Racist.
Spoiler alert, he has blue skin. And I get if I go on the internet, it's like, yeah, who was that guy? It's like, oh my god, you got to read this book and you got to see this, you got to see this, and you got to watch this. That's who General Thrawn is, or Admiral Thrawn is, you dumbass.
Right.
I'm like, I'm
You're
sorry,
like, that's a lot of work, bro.
That's not my wheelhouse, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I bet you can't tell me where Optimus Prime got the Matrix of Leadership from, though, you son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're also not going to use the same story beats from Thrawn's other canon in the live action again, just so people are caught up. You know what I mean? And that's what they did with this, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, with the exception of my buddy telling me to go watch that one scene, to this day, I probably would have never seen it.
Agreed.
So
not a lot of people
this
watch
would have been
Rebels.
fresh. This would have been fresh for me, and I guarantee you, for a lot of people out there, this was fresh for them. This was something new.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna knock it for.
But then you
reusing
see it in Rebels, and you're like, oh boy, like it's straight up like it is same thing with the mission in the fortress. That one's even more egregious because it's like exactly the same, exactly the same.
So I actually am sitting here watching that clip of Ahsoka fighting Vader right now, and it is, I mean, it's essentially the same thing. That
as
said,
far as the helmet cutoff, yeah.
I agree with what Jonathan was just now saying, and I guess I also agree with what you're saying, Colby. So on one hand, it is contradicting. It doesn't even have to contradict canon, right? Like a motherfucker's mask can get sliced more than one time. Like that could violate.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got backups. You know,
in reality,
he needs it to live.
So, the fact that it happened once doesn't mean it can't happen again. The fact that audiences may not have seen Rebels, because myself, I've watched all of the Star Wars movies. I've seen them several times. Mm-hmm. I've watched all of the Disney Plus live action. I haven't seen Bad Batch. I haven't seen Clone Wars. I haven't seen Rebels. And I joked earlier, like it's not, I don't like demote it because it's animated. It's just a lot of fucking content.
It's a lot.
So
dude. Clone Wars is a lot.
See it in the in this series, I found it to be incredibly impactful. I would imagine I would imagine I speak for the majority when I say that. So when it comes to making the decision, at the top level of the corporate whatever shit's going on over there, I understand that they would be like, yeah, I mean, we already did it, but more people have not seen it than have seen it. However, instead of rewarding the most devout Star Wars fans, it almost undermines the fact that they are as involved in the fandom as they are. And that's unfortunate.
So I hear what you're saying. When Disney did the whole acquisition thing, they said everything is canon from now on. Yeah. And then the OT is canon, the prequels are canon, the Clone Wars show and Son of Dathomir, some like obscure comics and stuff. And then everything else after this is canon, right? I started reading every book that came out after that, every comic, watched every show, and then I stopped doing it when I noticed that the payoff just isn't there, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no like it's hard because yeah, I mean when I was watching it, I didn't go back to Rebels. Like I was watching it live or not live, but when I was streaming it, and I was like, holy shit, this is one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in Star Wars, just straight up, right? Like my favorite 30 seconds of film history, I keep 30 seconds, whatever, is the part in Return of the Jedi when Vader is literally looking back at his son, looking to his master, looking back at his son. Like he's wearing a mask and you can see the anguish on his face in that scene. Like that's the best 30 seconds in Hollywood history, in my opinion, as far as Star Wars goes. This was right up there, man. I mean, that scene, like Hayden brought it in that scene, dude. Like I was on the verge of tears. And then 2 hours later, I was like, I was just like Rebels. It didn't ruin it. A lot of these things are really tongue in cheek for me. Like the whole tractor beam thing, like versus TIE fighters. Like when Vader walks onto that bridge, I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers are getting force choked. This is gonna be bad. And then he's like, increased firepower, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then it was over. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, like we make fun of a lot of this stuff, but it's only because we love it so much. You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I will. One more thing about this scene, I thought it was freaking amazing hearing Anakin through the voice box of Darth Vader
And going in and out, so good.
Coming in and out, dude, that was amazing. And that even that one scene, instead of saying no, we got Obi-Wan, which was like, I watched that scene again today because I wanted to have it fresh in my mind. And that one scene, Vader defeated, yelling in anger at Obi-Wan Kenobi as Obi-Wan walked away the victor again. Dude, that was freaking great.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so much canon to keep up with. Like I've had to stop reading the comics just because I just there was no payoff, right? There's so many novel tie-ins and things like that, and I'm sticking purely to the Disney Plus stuff now and the movies because it's just even the video games, like some of them are canon and some of them aren't. Jedi Fallen Order is canon, Battlefront isn't, and it's like it's too hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the last one. Who here was surprised to see Qui-Gon? Not me. Look, here's the thing. It was very, very telegraphed that he was going to show up, right?
Yeah.
And fuck, I was like, man, the clock's ticking. Where the hell is he? And then he shows up, and it's like,
yeah,
damn, it was good to see him, dude.
It was nice.
I've maintained that even though we don't hear his name until like 50 minutes into the Phantom Menace, which is weird because I guess Qui-Gon's supposed to be the protagonist of that film.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it, Colby. Stop it.
I'll let Red Letter Media handle that portion of the stream, but it's so I love Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon, one of my favorite Jedi because he's kind of a maverick, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, the green lightsaber is my thing; it always has been.
He's beautiful and does what he wants.
Yeah, and it's like you know, yeah. Anyway, it was great to see him. He did it. The hair looked a little goofy, but I mean, that's straight up nitpicking. Like it was great to see him. I want to see more. Like, give me that fucking series.
Yeah, give me Qui-Gon being the mentor, continuing to be a mentor for Obi-Wan. Because remember, he died like before Obi-Wan took the trials or whatever the hell that was. You know?
Yeah, he was a Padawan.
Qui-Gon was not finished with Obi-Wan. You know, Qui-Gon was not done. I think and if you do that show. Like, let Obi-Wan go on his little spiritual quest and let Qui-Gon join him along the way, you know? And then when we finally, like I said, that'll show us, I think they have the opportunity to literally show us why Obi-Wan gives that smirk to Vader when Vader finally strikes him down. You know what I'm saying? They have the opportunity to make that the only duel we get between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in the movies or in the original trilogy. They have the opportunity to make that an incredible amount of payoff. And if they would just take their time, Jesus, like let Qui-Gon is just like, when you are ready, Obi-Wan, you can give yourself to the Force and you will be
so many people say that
unstoppable.
That duel is boring. And I'm just like, bro, like you don't like,
dude,
you don't know these characters, man. That shit is heartbreaking, dude.
That is one of those things you plug in, you take a 15-year-old kid that has grown up with the MCU. And he hits play on A New Hope.
Oh my God!
And he gets to that duel, and he's just like,
for like 10 seconds.
This is it. Where's the Force choking? Where's the Force pushing?
Yeah.
Where's the flipping lightsabers? Like, no,
There's
it's two
none of
dudes.
that in A&H, dude. There's none
There's
of
a
that.
reason. There's a reason we all grew up able to fight with lightsabers
Right.
with the flashlight.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is all you had to do. That's
Then
all
the
you had
prequels
to
came
do.
out and we were like, holy shit, I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah.
It's like, he did a fucking flip.
All right, Jeremy,
But,
take us home. This is the last one, or at least for the point counterpoint part of the stream.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of tying it into where the series could go as well, but I'm not real clear on the abilities of Force Ghosts. I mean, they're omnipresent, right? They're there. They
I
materialize.
mean, they may be able to have
sometimes.
sex. I don't know.
Can they watch you jerk off? I think is what I'm.
Well, look, I knew where you were going, so I went ahead and just made that leap.
This getting rough.
Well,
Oh my god.
Okay, look, I don't know that using The Last Jedi is a great example of how Star Wars is done properly, but full disclosure, I don't mind The Last Jedi, but I believe it's Yoda. His Force Ghost is able to light a tree on fire.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Yoda, right?
Yeah, that's
It's a good
Yoda.
point.
Luke is able to raise an X-Wing in The Rise of Skywalker, but that's Luke.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon can maybe make a cup move or something. I don't know. You
Yeah.
know? It's never really been a thing, in the mainstream canon.
I'm curious to see, I don't know. It felt obligatory. Like when he showed up, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is as it should be." Like,
Of course he's
this
there.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, to your point. Predictable. Yeah, sure. I do think coming out of this series, my thoughts are twofold. Because Jonathan, I love what you just now said about the further conquest being like a Obi-Wan and Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn go on certain adventures together.
Yeah.
I don't want to continuously go back to the well and have Obi-Wan fighting Vader
No.
because I feel like at some point it diminishes the impact of this final duel that they had on the
Yeah.
heels of what happened at Mustafar in episode 3. So like I don't want to see in the climax of season 2 Vader and Obi-Wan fight each other. In the climax of season 3 they fight each other. Like it's gonna
it's just Rocky at that point,
Yeah. Sure.
or an MCU movie.
I would like to see again a spiritual mission, maybe the construction of the rebellion with Obi-Wan.
I'm excited about Andor,
working,
dude.
Doing his little workings, as it were. And I mean, for what it's worth, the only thing we do know that during A New Hope is that Princess Leia knows that Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Kenobi, is still alive.
Yes.
We have to he's got to have some kind of network where Princess Leia knows that Obi-Wan Kenobi will get this message and he can help them.
I like the idea of him
or the rebellion
of Obi-Wan taking over the path. I thought he should have been running it from the beginning. Like that would have been a cool arc. Like he's training every day on Tatooine, ready because he knows Vader's a thing, and he has to train Luke, so he's not going to just sit there and work at this whale carcass factory.
Yeah, but that's why we get a season 2.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be cool.
Season 1 was him trying to be the hermit.
Yeah.
And season 2, he knows. He's like, nope, Vader's out there. I gotta be on my game.
Yeah, because 9 years is a long time on Tatooine. Just look at Aunt Beru in A New Hope versus Aunt Beru now. Oh boy. So I would love to see Obi-Wan season 2 where he is trying to find other Jedi. I forgot to mention this in 5, I think episode 5 of this. No, it's 3 when he discovers he first hears about the path that Tala is running. Right, there's some writing on the wall, and he looks at it and says Quinlan was here, and that's a fairly deep cut for casuals. He's referring to Quinlan Vos, who is a Jedi from the Clone War era, and it was always rumored that he survived Order 66, and it was nice to hear that that's a thing. I would love to see Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos together again. They have a cool little skirmish with Cad Bane in the Clone Wars. Jeremy, there's definitely some Clone Wars episodes you need to watch. I'll try to cherry pick some for you, just because some of them are literally like Padme and the Gungans, and it's just like, nah, we ain't got time for this. And there's others that are really steeped in the Force, like the Mortis episodes. Like, go do some research on Mortis, and it's
Padme and the Gungans is some of my favorite Rule 34 Star Wars content.
Well, then you're good. You can watch all of it. Then it's only 7 seasons, right? All right, so that's it for point counterpoint. I had a lot of stuff I had to get off my
Yeah, me
chest
too.
for
I feel a lot better.
this show. I know,
I
do
really
too.
do.
Because I
feel
really did
so much
enjoy the
better right
series
now.
overall. Like, overall, I am on the positive side of this series, but there are so many things that I just could not overlook that are like that break Star Wars' own rules. Like, not my rules, like the rules that Star Wars has already established. You know, this series does break some of them, or at least ignore them, I guess. Like, just use a TIE fighter. You know? Like, they showed the freaking base has TIE fighters hanging down, right?
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway,
It's okay.
Might have been
You're
out
gonna
of
be
gas.
fine, Colby.
yeah.
You're gonna be
TIE stands for twin ion engine. They don't use gas.
It's actually, fair.
Yeah.
It's actually a fair point.
Is it time to play a game?
Oh fuck! Please tell me it's not what I think it is.
It's time to play a game. Jeremy, you want to join in?
Oh my god, Jeremy.
All right.
I got
This is answers.
15. How much?
All right.
How much time?
No, we're good. We're good.
10
Okay.
really quick. They're really easy. I want to ask you a question. It's called Answers Without Context. Means you have to give me an answer.
Context.
You do not get to tell me why. Are you ready?
And they
Yeah.
may not be yes or no. You may have to say an answer, but you don't get
might
to
have say
explain
an
why.
answer.
He
There's
goes
one
first.
in here.
I'll go first.
Okay, fine. All right, cool. Question number 1. Which IP is least likely to get a remake? Back to the Future or The Godfather?
100% Back to the Future. Jeremy.
Oh
Jeremy?
yeah. Well, I mean, there's already the offer going on cable right now, so it would have to be Back to the Future.
Okay, so that was least likely to get a remake is Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 2, MCU's Civil War, Team Cap or Team Tony?
Tony. Fuck Cap. Cap sucks.
Tony, 100%. I prefer Captain America as a character. Oh, that's context. Sorry.
No
my bad.
context.
No,
it's
it
weird
is.
because, like, you
No
wanna give
context here,
answers.
no
Yeah.
contexting.
Sorry.
No context and no context. All right, this question was written for Colby, so Jeremy, if you don't have an opinion, it's fine. Question number 3, fuck, marry, kill, Auburn, LSU, and Georgia.
I assume fuck refers to like root for, or
No.
I guess
No,
Mary
means
would be
have
root for.
sex with the team, dude.
Yeah, fuck, marry,
Okay.
kill, Auburn, LSU, and Georgia.
Damn. Okay, number 1, Auburn fans and Georgia fans are not horrible people.
This is without context.
Kill LSU.
Oh.
All right, pass.
How hard it is.
Fuck,
You
fuck
get-
LSU, marry Georgia, kill Auburn.
Oh,
All
what
right,
a sweetheart.
you know what? You know what? I'm good with
All
that.
right.
I'm good with that.
All right,
I'm good with
cool.
that. I never have to deal with Auburn again. I'm good with that.
Number 4, most missed character from film adaptation. Was it Harry Potter's Peeve the Pesky Poltergeist or Lord of the Rings Tom Bombadil?
Jeremy, take this one first.
Bombadil.
Bombadil.
I don't even know what
Correct,
that other shit
Jeremy.
is.
Moving on.
Tom Bombadil. Even though I fucking hate. Sorry.
Number 5, Megatron, Pistol, Tank, or T-Rex?
Are you pistol? Like, what the hell?
T-Rex, man.
Oh my god, bro.
Incorrect. Number 6.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 6, assuming it is done well, what Marvel character would you introduce in a Disney Plus series?
I'm sorry. I was reading a comment. Start over. Sorry.
You would. Assuming it is done well, what Marvel character would you introduce in a Disney Plus series?
That's a good question.
Anyone will do.
Ghost
I thought about
Rider.
this. Ghost Rider. Okay.
Damn, that's a good question, dude. This is too much pressure. Let's go weird. Let's get a Sabretooth series.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
hell
Be
yeah.
down for that.
All right. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Number 7, the best meal while drunk.
Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, and peppered.
I was just gonna fucking say that. I was just gonna say double hash brown, scatter cover chunked.
I'll take it. Number 8, best WWE/WWF entrance theme.
Theme?
Theme song.
Okay.
Yep.
Undertaker.
Oh, that's so good. It's so good, but I don't want to pick what you picked. Degeneration X.
The correct answer was the Ultimate Warrior. You both
fuck, you're right. Yeah.
Number 9. Unpopular opinion of the worst show ever. Like a show that everyone loves.
You mean we think it's bad?
Yeah, the show everyone loves, but the worst opinion ever is like, no, that show is terrible.
This Is Us.
Oh, my wife is going to kill you. Okay, so a popular show
this
that
game
I
is
think
fucking great, by the way.
Yeah,
it is. We do it once a stream, and we should do the whole stream about it. It's hard, dude. It's hard thinking of questions, and now I'm just stalling trying to come up with an answer. Okay, so a show that people like that I hate.
Yeah, you're just like, nah, that's the worst show ever made. You can't say Obi-Wan.
Oh fuck! I was just gonna do it as a joke. Oh my god. I can't. I honestly can't think of, because I had the opposite. I can't think of one. I'll come back to it.
Oh my god.
Eric says Big Bang Theory. Eric, you are kicked off the stream, buddy.
I love it,
Eric,
dude. Eric, so with you.
Dude, trust me,
Eric's
I'm
done.
with you, dude. Worst show ever is Big Bang Theory. I watched another one that I don't like. I tell people that I really don't enjoy it and they crucify me is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That show's funny though.
It's okay. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's the worst show ever. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, question number 10.
I have one and I can't think of it.
Question number 10. Here at the Fanout Crew, we never get too political. However, question number 10. Why is Gamora?
I'll do you one better. Wait, no, damn. I mean, who doesn't like, green-skinned alien chicks?
Why is Gamora? Jeremy.
Because Thanos had some sort of soft spot for alien girls.
I'm still trying to think of a TV show that I hate that everyone loves.
And the winner by default is me, because I'm the cleverest. Yes, you did.
That
you both
sucks.
did really well. You both did really well, but you answered all of them incorrectly.
The hardest part is actually coming up with the questions. Answering them is what it is, but coming up with the questions is actually pretty hard.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
Time. But
all right, guys. I think that's gonna do it, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell Eric it's LSU, not LSU.
Oh,
I don't know if he was trolling me or not.
He doesn't do sports ball, so he may actually be serious.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Yeah. Thanks for Jeremy, man. Thanks for joining us, man. It's been a while since we've had you on the show.
It was a great time.
Yeah. We just needed to get this out of the way,
Dude.
because there's so much to unpack with this show. Like, so much happens, but half of it shouldn't have. So it's just
I think it was, and honestly, I think it was a little easier for it to flow after we'd seen it all.
Yeah,
because we don't spend half the show talking about, well, let's see how it ends if this pays off. No, we most of it's like, no, this show has happened.
If we had done it, episode to episode, I don't think I would have done any more videos after episode 4. Like, that's how bad it was for me. Yeah. So
anyway,
I'm glad we waited for the whole season.
We're getting back into it again. So
yeah, Jeremy, you want to plug your stuff while you can?
Check out the Pop Culture Nihilist on YouTube. Also follow me over on Twitter at Jeremy G Branch. Head over there. Got some tweets and stuff going out, and you can find me doing content pretty much every Thursday at 6 p.m. CST on the Pop Culture Nihilist YouTube channel.
Sounds good, John. You getting back into Twitch and the streaming and stuff?
Yeah, kind of. I'm trying to. For those of you who don't know, this is going to be my last time on the Fanout Crew's podcast for
like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
You're acting like you're like retiring and shit.
Coming back 3 weeks. But yeah, if I get on anything social media, it'll definitely be on Twitch. Check me out at that guy John A over on Twitch. I'll be playing either Dead by Daylight or hell, I might be playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Again, I'm having a blast with that game.
Great game. We actually had a stream on that. We had a live stream on that, so check that out on our channel. Had some good conversation while we were chopping up some Foot Clan. But thanks guys for joining us tonight. Had a good, conversation going. Really good back and forth. We try to. We're trying out a new streaming platform, and I think it worked out really well for this one specifically. So, leave us a comment, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, fan out.
Fan out,
See you
guys.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.